Okay, today's topic, introductions and application of AMLA. AMLA stands for anti-money laundering, okay? And also CFT stands for countering financing of terrorism for real estate negotiator. So this is something very interesting today. Okay, so let me share the slide with you. Yeah, hold on. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on, let me. Okay, can you guys see this? Right, if you can see this, press number 2. Okay, already place in full screen, okay? Okay, oh, I can't see your comment, but regardless, I see some numbers popping out. I suppose you can see my slides. So today's topic, introductions and applications of anti-money laundering and countering financing of terrorism for real estate negotiator. So why is this AMLA, we call it the AMLA, is relevant to us? Okay, because of this is one of the bank negara rules lah. As a real estate negotiator, there are some things that we need to do. Okay, so first thing first, just to share with you guys, this is a law lah, act lah, by what is called AMLA, AML/CFT Act, or we call AMLA 2001. Okay, this is the first introductions of this act. Okay, so it came into enforcements in January 15, 2022. Okay, this was introduced in 2001, but it came into enforcement in January 2002. Okay, of course, throughout the years, there are some updates on AMLA, and now we are coming to the latest draft. Okay, exposure draft in 2nd of January 2020, and now it's already enforced. All right. Of course, at this time in January 2020, this is where the pandemic happens, and things are moving slowly lah. But of course, while this is enforced, as a real estate negotiator, some of you have already practicing this AMLA screening of our client, but some of us have not. Okay, but I want to take this opportunity to share with you guys what is this AMLA all about and how are we going to apply it, because 1st of January we want to enforce it to all our negotiator. Okay, some of us will take some time to adapt to it, but by 1st of Jan we want to enforce everyone to practice this, because this is a rule by Bank Negara. Okay, so what is money laundering? Okay, that's very important. Why do we need to have this act in the very first place? Because money laundering and also terrorism financing happens in the whole world, right? And when it comes to money laundering, what is money laundering? Money laundering is a process of converting cash or property derived from criminal activities, all right, and give it a legitimate appearance. So people that doing whatever like drugs or gambling or all are illegal activities. Okay, and people like who run this kind of business, they want to convert their cash, and also this is what we call the money laundering lah. Yeah, and of course, as a real estate negotiator, we have to apply certain measurement and screening to reduce risk of this kind of action. Okay, so it's also a process of cleaning and distinguishing the criminal origins of what we call the dirty money lah. Okay, whereas terrorism financing is whereby a process of financing terrorism activities, whether is it a legal income or illegal income. So this is illegal, all right, financing terrorism activity. So this is also another actions that we want to avoid. Okay, and do our whatever we needed to eliminate this kind of activities, all right, through the screening. Okay, so later I'll go to that. And also what we call the targeted financing sanction. Okay, some people's or some businesses, they are business, either personal or business, there comes to asset freezing and prohibitions to prevent funds or other assets to be being made available. Okay, there are certain companies or personnel that falls under this category. And how do we identify okay, whether this person or this company falls into asset freezing and also preventions of using the fund. Okay, there's two ways, all right, to identify, because both United Nations and Security Council Section Committee and also Minister of Home Affairs Malaysia, they actually came out a list, okay? They actually came out a list of a personal or a company where falls into this group, okay? This called TFS group, where they are not allowed to use the fund, okay? So later I will share the link as well. So let me share a little bit of how do criminals launder the money, okay? This is some flows for your understanding, okay? First thing first, like I mentioned, okay, of course, maybe not drug, but other illegal businesses. When they get the proceed, they will deposit the money into bank, but of course, in a few ways. For example, placement in either investment, okay, investment products or FD or whatsoever, and likelihood they also place the transaction, the proceeds into a smaller amount, so it can avoid the checking from the bank. Okay, this is one of the way. Of course, there's a few ways of doing that, right? And also, what happens next is that the what do you call it? In this example, the drug dealer, they will do some layering work. Say, for example, they will make things more complicated by doing multiple transfer, or they invoice to different parties, different account to make things looks complicated, right? So that it becomes a layering for them to hide, okay, to hide from the surveillance or from the bank, okay, or also resale of asset. So after that, what they're going to do is that they integrate all these kind of funds into the economy by setting up company lah, or buying some assets lah. Like for example, purchase of real estate is one of the way that to clean the money, put it this way. All right, to clean the money through purchasing of property. So this is something that it happens. Okay, so for the Bank Negara to control that and also to minimize all this kind of illegal proceeds activities, one of the way is through property agents that we have to put in our duty as a real estate negotiator to screen through our clients. Okay, so these are a few things. All right. So under reporting institutions under AMLA, okay, by Bank Negara, these are the few institutions will have to do a reporting back to the Bank Negara. So for example, under financial institution, there is bank, there are insurance companies, right? There is a security fund managers, money exchanges, e-money operators, offshore financial institution. These are a few financial institutions has to report back to the Bank Negara under AMLA. Okay, so for those who are been traveling, all right, overseas, been traveling overseas, of course, you will go to the money exchange to exchange money, right? And nowadays, they will ask you to fill up a form, all right? This is the form basically to do screening and declaration, okay, of the money. Okay, so this is under financial institution, whereas for professions, all right, designated non-financial business and professions, real estate agent falls under this category. Okay, real estate agent falls under this category. So there's a role for us to play under this AMLA Act. All right, so let me share with this. Okay, these procedures of AMLA guides and all, right? So there is a PDF that we can share with you guys. Okay, perhaps what I can do, let me see whether I can copy this. Yeah, okay, let me see. I can copy this, and also okay, hold on. Maybe I can put it in the group. Okay. All right, it's a bit messy also though. Never mind, I think it's a bit messy. Forget about it. I'm not going to share in the chat box. But what I will do, after the training, once this is uploaded, okay, we will upload the PDF in ESPU. This is where you can click on the link to download this guide. So, okay, maybe I open one of it, right? And let's show you how it looks like. Hold on, yeah. So at least you have an idea what are you getting once you download this. So basically, this is a guide what are the procedure you have to go through, okay? What you need to do when it comes to collecting earnest deposit, how to do the screening part. Okay, there's a few steps, all right? It may look complicated right now, but I will go through with you, and this can be downloaded, okay, in the PDF that we're going to upload after this. Okay, coming back to here, okay, the summary of the guide. So there's 7 steps over here. Okay, there are 7 steps. The first step is know your client. Okay, while we are doing knowing your clients, right? Agents have to know the background of your clients. Okay, and also there are certain documents that required that we need to collect from client, and we need clients to fill up CDD form. What is CDD form? CDD form stands for customer due diligence form. Okay, this is step number 1. All right, once we have collected that, then we need to do a screening. So when it comes to screening, right, agents has to do a first screening of our client, all right, whether it's owner or buyer, okay, both sides we have to do, all right. If you are dealing with both owner and buyer at the same time, both parties. If you are just dealing as a co-agency, if you are just dealing with owner, okay, so we do a screening on our owner, okay, let the co-agents do the buyer side, okay. So this is what we need to do the first screening first before we collect the earnest deposit, and then make sure they themselves, the client, fill up the CDD form, and we send the documents to admin for second screening. So the company, our agency, will do the second screening for all the transaction. Okay, this is number 2. Number 3, risk profiling. Okay, there's this called risk profiling form. Is to be attached together with a CRP form. Okay, this risk profiling form is together with the CDD form. Okay, CDD form has a few pages. Let me show you let me see if we can show you this. Okay, right, hold on. Actually, I opened up just now. Okay, this is how CDD form look like. All right, don't worry. Of course, at the first glance, it seems like a lot of things will fill up, but this is our duty as a resident negotiator. Okay, well, this is how the CDD forms look like, and I scroll down. Okay, there's this called customer risk profiling together with this attachment. So these are the both forms that we need to fill up. Okay, and the clients will need to sign off initial at all pages. Okay, right? I'll go through that very shortly. Okay. Well, coming to CDD form and also customer risk profiling form, these 2 forms is done. If says that the clients fall under high risk client, they are considered as high risk client, then as an agent, we need to ask the clients to fill up the EDD form. Okay, what's the difference between CDD form and EDD form? EDD form is something more thorough. Okay, it's called enhanced due diligence form. It's something more thorough. But the question is, how do we qualify the client, whether they are considered high risk or low risk? Later, I will go to that. All right, then once we have submitted all the forms, okay, to the company, all right, if the person unfortunately falls under a positive name match, means their name is under the list. Just now I show you guys, right, there's 2 lists that we need to cross-check, okay, which is the UNSCR list and MOHA list. If they falls under this list and under positive name search, or we consider still high risk after the EDD or form, the company, means the agency, will have to submit a STR to BNM, Bank Negara. We need to submit what we call the suspicious transaction, okay, report to the Bank Negara. Okay, this is, of course, this is done by the company side lah. Okay, so for the company, the agency, we will need to keep this record for at least 6 years. And this is the process. Okay, so I believe that I've given you a brief picture of the processes. So maybe I will go into a little bit more detail. Okay, so there's 7 steps over here. The first step is that know your client. Okay, identify your customers and verify the customers using a reliable and independent source documents and data information. Okay, for example, through IC, through passport. Okay, and then if the person's is a company, okay, obtain the information okay, the business nature and relationship. Okay, later I will share with you what are the documents required. Okay, this is the purpose, know your clients through this two-way lah. All right, then who should be conducting it? The registered real estate agent like us, okay, to conduct CDD on both the purchaser and seller or landlord and tenant of the property. So it's not just sales and purchase of property, it including rental property as well. All right, the landlord and the tenant. Okay, so guys, you must be asking, hey, it's very complicated, right? It's very a lot of hassle, but not that hard because it's just basically filling up forms lah, and also conducting one more step, which is to screen out through the list. Okay, now moving on, when do we conduct this screening? When we are establishing a business relationship. So for seller and landlord, when they appoint us to sell or rent a property, whereby when it comes to purchaser or tenant, is when they engage us to buy or rent a property. Okay, this is the point lah, the timing lah, the timeline. All right, I move on next. So what are the documents required when it comes to complying to this AMLA Act? The first thing first, when it comes to meeting the owners of the buyer, if this is a personal name of the property or personal transaction, individual transaction, what we need to get information is verification through IC, either IC, passport, or other ID document. All right. When I say other ID documents, it could be the permit or visa, okay, for foreigners lah. This is for individual. Whereas for legal person, or we call it the legal entity, these are the documents that we need to request from the business owner, the M&A forms 24, 49, and SSM super form. Okay, so what information is required is the name, the legal form, the proof of existence, and the beneficial owners, the directors, shareholders that have the shareholding more than 25% in the company, and also the IC of the authorized person. So these are the information required, all right, when it comes to AMLA compliance. Okay, this is what we need to collect from the client lah. Okay, so when it comes to CDD, customer due diligence, how are we going to verify individual customer? Is through their IC or passport, okay, like I mentioned already, or any other official document. Okay, it can be visa, okay, and other form lah, okay, that can prove authenticity of the document, or even something more advanced is biometric ID. But of course, for agents, right, the first one and the second one is the most feasible one lah. Okay, if there is doubt, require the customers to produce other supporting official identifications document bearing his or own photograph. This is normally applies to foreigners lah. All right, so moving on, this is a verification on legal person, or we call it the legal entity, right? The name, the legal form, proof of existence, like I mentioned earlier, but powers of regulates and bind customers, address of registered office. Basically, this is documents that requested by bankers as well, especially when it comes to sales and purchase, right? Through company, this is something need to be submitted regardless AMLA or loan application, they need to submit this anyway. So these are the few documents lah. All right, now I moved on. So what are the necessary documents required for the AMLA Act? So there's two forms or even one form only. All right, it depends on the situation. First thing first, the first form that is required is what we call the CDD form, which is customer due diligence form, has to be fully signed by the customer or our client. Okay, so first thing first, we can help the client to fill up the necessary, but if the information we cannot get, then the clients will have to fill up themselves, right? And also what they need to do is that at each of the pages, each of the page, they will need to put in their initial. All right, they have to put in their initial, and at the end of the page, they will have to put in their name, their IC, and they have to sign up lah. So this part is that client have to declare and to tell that they are fully aware of this AMLA Act lah, and they have to sign, okay, and insert their name and the date as well. So this is on the CDD form, okay. So if says that these clients fall under high risk client, then EDD form is required, which what we call the enhanced due diligence form is required if the client falls under high risk profile. Okay, so far any question? Okay, if you have any questions, right, or you are not clear, you can ask in the chat box. No? All right. If no, then I moved on. Okay. These are the information, these are the document. It's the same, I mentioned already. The IC, front and back, we need to make a copy. All right, these are the documents. For legal entity, which is the company, these are the document SSM, Form 2449, or annual return is even more preferable. Proof of existence means when the company set up lah, right, and any other sorts of official document. So like I mentioned, CDD form is applicable for both seller and buyer or landlord and tenant, except if external co-agency case, then CDD form only required for whom agents represent. Like I mentioned, if today you are representing the owner, then this is a co-agency case and you are representing the owner, then we only get this information from the owner, get the owners to sign the CDD form or EDD if required. Okay, so the other way around, if you're representing buyer or tenant, then we only get the information from the other one side. Okay. All right. Wait, I will go through the questions after this, okay, after this session, because I can't see the chat box. I don't know why. All right, but still, if you have any question, put it in the chat box. All right, so this is the change of the forms lah. Forms in 1965. Now we have a new name for the forms, okay? CA 2016. So it's a rename of the forms. Okay, later on you can go through it. But like I said again, annual return is preferred. Okay, if you can get annual return from our clients for entity, this is more preferred lah. All right, so next question is, okay, we know the processes already, we know what are the forms that required to get our client to sign. The next question is that, where do we get this form? Where can we download this form? So moving forward, all the forms, okay, for example, CBD already start practicing it already. So for other agencies like ESP or any other agencies, right, we will upload this CDD or EDD form in PropSage. Okay, how do you get the form? Go to the document. All right, go to the document. Under the documents, there is a folder will be called AMLA, and under the AMLA form, these are the forms that will be uploaded here. Okay, so start practicing it. Okay, for those who are listening right now, you can start practicing it already, because by then, 1st of Jan, then we will enforce, and it's a mandatory lah, because we also want to comply with the Bank Negara rules. And in fact, MIEA, Malaysia Institute of Estate Agents, has been getting all the agencies to comply with this. So not just ESP, moving forward, all the agency will be complying to this AMLA guideline. Okay. All right. So again, download the form from PropSage under document. Okay. Now moving on, when do we do the screening? So we can start doing the screening through once we got the information collected. Like I said, what are the information collected? The name, okay, the IC. Wait, let me see when if I can go back there. Where's the slides? Hold on. The name, the IC. These are the two important things for individual, and the address as well. Sorry, here. Okay, name, date of birth, nationality, the address and purpose of transactions, and for legal, these are the other information lah. All right, so this is when we get all this information, then we can start doing the screening already. So who to do the screening? The REN lah, the agents lah, us that will do the first screening on our client before we collect the deposit, before we collect the money. All right. After that, we have collected the informations. You have done your screening, everything is okay. Then we collect the documents and also the deposit. Then we submit into PropSage for the company to do the second screening. Okay, so the agents will have to upload the CDD forms and all the documents into PropSage so we can go through the second screening as an agency. So if says that during your first screening, we notice that this client is positive name match, positive name match, then we will have to reject the client because we are not sure. Definitely the client's the source of income is very questionable already because their name appear in the list. Okay, when their client's name appear in the list, then means that this client is doing something illegal. All right, whether their asset is being freeze or illegal activities or whatsoever. Okay, so we have to reject the client. Okay, if our client is high risk profiling, then we have to submit in EDD form. Okay, EDD means enhanced due diligence form. Okay, so documents required by company, CDD form, and also the documents lah. Okay, whatever documents that I mentioned just now for the company. Right. Okay, coming to here. So how do we know whether the screening, when it comes to screening, whether it's a matching or not matching? Okay. Later I will go to the list here. We will share the list as well. But of course, the list, the UN SCR list and also the MOHA list is updated. There's no timeline when it's updated. So on and off, right, we will have to download the what do you call that, the MOHA list or UNSCR list by ourselves, okay, to cross-check against it lah. When it comes to cross-checking, if says the name, there's no name match and it's a normal risk profiling screening by company, of course, business as usual, we can continue with the proceed of the transaction. Okay. If screening by the REN, when we engage the leasing or collect the earnest deposit, consider there's no name match or normal risk profiling, we can continue. All right. However, when there's no name match but consider high profiling, then we have to conduct a EDD form. We need to get them to sign the EDD form. If EDD, when you submit back to the company management will have to decide whether we can continue with the proceed. If it's so, no problem, business as usual. Okay, right? So if says that, unfortunately, if we go to the MOHA list or UNSCR list, the person's name is there, then there's a matching, then we will have to reject the potential customer or freeze the customer funds to prevent of dissipations of fund or block the transaction. And the company, which is the agency, will have to submit STR, suspicious transactions report, to the bank negara. Okay, of course, this is confidential. The agency will submit. Okay, now results in freezing, blocking, and rejecting. Okay, under the Act, it says that the freezing of funds or blocking of transaction, as the case may be, shall remain in effect until the specific entity is removed from the MOHA or UNSCR list. Okay, so we cannot do anything until their name is removed from the list. Any dealing with frozen fund required a written authorization of Minister of Home Affairs. Okay, so if they have to proceed, they need to get a written authorization from MOHA. Okay, next, the frozen fund may continue receiving the deposit. However, such fund and benefits must remain frozen as long as the specific entities continue to be listed MOHA list and UNSCR list. So again, we can't touch on the funds until their name is removed from the list. Okay, number 4, related parties or frozen farms or to the block transactions may advise the specific entity to make applications to the MOHA, Minister of Home Affairs, for exemption okay, on the basic or extraordinary expenditure. If the expenditure is necessary, okay, whether it's basic or extraordinary, that entity will have to make an application to Minister of Home Affairs for exemption. Okay, right? And the next following company shall only proceed with the payment for the basics or extraordinary expenditure upon receiving written authorization from Ministry of Home Affairs. So until and unless we get the written authorization, otherwise we can't continue with the proceed of payment. Follow, right? So where do we get the list? The list, right? Just now I've been mentioning MOHA list lah, UNSCR list lah. So these are all can be downloaded under the Ministry of Home Affairs websites, the United Nations Security of Council Resolution website. Okay, so these are all PDF lists. Okay, you can download it in PDF form and cross-check. You can search, find the client's name, okay, in the list, whether their name is in the list or not. If there is, then it's considered matching, and we have to reject the client. And of course, as a company, we will have to submit a STR, suspicious transactions report, to the bank negara. Okay, these are there. So four places to cross-check, but however, we will suggest you to cross-check these two lah. Of course, you can cross-check all four as well to minimize the list. But what we notice is that most of the time, there is a duplications lah. There's a similar name list also. But of course, if best, you can cross-check all four, but otherwise, these two is very important. It's a must lah, okay? All right, so far, any questions? No? If there's no questions, then I'll move on. Okay, talk about customer risk profiling. I've been talking about normal risk profiling, okay? So how about high risk profiling? There's no match, but there's no matching in the MOHA list or UNSCR list. However, if your clients fall under high risk, okay, then we will have to conduct EDD, correct or not? I mentioned a few times already. If considered high risk, we have to conduct EDD, which is enhanced due diligence. So how do we assess the risk? Okay, customer risk, they're based on 4 criteria here. Customer risk, whether they are residents or non-residents, company or individual, their company structure, okay? PEPS stands for political exposure, all right? Whether they are political involved, or later I'll go to that. Geographically, whether the business location, whether it's in where is the business at, okay? Countries of origin, is it Malaysia company or is it a overseas company? If overseas company, which country it is? All right, countries on sanction list, for example, I think country on sanction list is Russia, right? And etc. So product, services, transaction, delivery of channel. If this is a cash-based, okay, if this transaction is cash-based, okay, then we consider as a high-risk profiling. Or this transaction is non-face-to-face, means we never see the clients at all, right? It can be considered as high risk as well. Whether this is a simple or complex transaction, and other information that you got from the clients that you think is considered high risk. Okay, now, what are customer risk profiling when it considered high? First thing first, countries and citizen, or if they are coming from either of this country, okay, of course, attached with the link, you can explore, you can click on the link later when you got a PDF. But these few countries, client from these few countries, Malaysia Bank Negara consider them as high risk. So if says that your clients, either individual or the business entity, come from any of this country, then automatically we have to go through CDD and EDD, both, okay? CDD and EDD automatically. Right, next is a political exposed person, PEPS, applicable to family members or close associates to all type of political exposed person. Whether it's domestic or foreign is considered high risk, because we I think Bank Negara worried about corruptions and all, right? So bribery and stuff like that. That's why these people, political exposed person, are considered high risk as well. The next is cash transaction. Okay. So if this is a cash purchase, of course, we can't say that if cash purchase is considered we assume the client is doing illegal activities. No, but it's considered high risk in Bank Negara I. So if that's the case, then we will have to automatically conduct a EDD already. Okay. Or if you notice any other red flag, okay, if you notice there's a red flag or information that's shared by your client sounds suspicious, then you will have to conduct EDD on your client. Okay, so far so good. Following? Yeah, following. Yeah. All right, I move on. If you have, like I said, if you have any question, do let me know, put it in the chat box. All right, so for registered real estate agent, how do we identify red flag? Okay, so purchaser title on the property in the name of nominee, for example, okay, using a nominee's name to buy property, okay, or customers substitute the purchasing party names at the last minute without reasonable explanation. It could be one red flag. Purchaser resell the property within a short period of time without a reasonable explanation. Okay, this is considered one red flag as well. Of course, this is under the act law. You can check it out. Yeah, purchase of multiple properties within a short period of time, and it is inconsistent with the profile of the purchaser. Payment for purchase of property does not come from the customer country of origin without logical explanation. Moving on, purchase made without viewing the property without logical explanation. Meaning to say, when they buy the property without viewing the property, that is also one of the red flag. Yeah. Now, moving on, seller and property owners sell the property for significantly less than the purchase price without logical explanation. All right, their selling price is lesser than SPA price, then you need to question. Okay. Number 8, there is a significant and unexplained geographic distance between the buyer and the locations of the property. Of course, in agents or negotiators' eye, this can be looks like something which is not significant, but of course we have to be aware as well. When these kind of things happen, we need to be alert. All right, if there's too many red flags, automatically we conduct EDD. Okay, purchase of property without end financing, which is cash purchase. Okay, purchase property without end finance means a cash purchase. Purchase which are not consistent with customer profile. Deposit for property are paid in significant of amount of cash. So maybe, for example, they buy the property in 80% cash, 20% financing, something like that. Okay, then you need to be alert. All right, purchase by legal persons or legal arrangement with the obscure the true beneficial owner of the customer. Okay, payment of deposit paid by third party without logical explanation. Payments or deposit paid by multiple parties. All right, it should raise a red flag as well. Okay, now I move on. The risk parameters for customer risk profiling. Okay, now today's at this juncture is about profiling. How do we consider low risk, medium risk, or high risk? Okay, for customer type, as you can see, if it is legal arrangement, I'll just highlight on the high risk. If it is a not individual, not a company, if through certain legal arrangement is considered high risk. Okay, if the person's is a foreign PEP, okay, which is political exposed person, foreign political exposed person is considered high risk. Okay, local considered medium risk. Nationality, just now I mentioned the high risk or sanctioned country, okay, is considered high risk. Well, for countries of residence, if they are from the high risk country or sanctioned country, is considered high risk. And also transaction or distribution of channel, no face-to-face one, you never meet the clients. All right, no face-to-face transactions is considered high risk. Okay, this is how we determine whether this client falls under the high risk profiling. Okay, now let me move on. When clients is high risk, then we have to go through this called EDD. So when there's no name match, when there's no name match but high risk profiling, then we need to question client source of fund or their wealth. So if this is judgment by, if says that is the client's suspicious, this is judged by the company already, company management, the agency management, whether we think this is suspicious. If it is no, business as usual, this can be proceed with the transaction. Otherwise, the company can decide, okay, this is very suspicious through all the form filled, submitted to company, and we think this is a suspicious transaction, then our advice will be reject the client, and the company will submit the STR, suspicious transaction report, to the bank negara. Okay, so when we will submit suspicious transaction report, STR, when do we submit that? When a client refuses to provide CDD. Okay, well, of course, not many agencies are practicing it. Okay, but they are agency practice, like CBD has been practicing it. So one of the objections that we are facing as a real estate negotiator is that clients refuse to sign. But of course, we can get the necessary information from our client, right? Telling them that all this is not because required by the agency, but required by the bank negara. When they buy insurance, also this is something that they have to fill up as well. So same goes to selling and purchasing of property, right? So but otherwise, if the client is suspicious and refuse to provide CDD, then as a company will have to submit the STR, okay? Or positive name match in MOHA list or UN SCR list, or high risk profiling and suspicious during conduct EDD. Okay, this is when the company management we will submit the STR to bank negara. Okay, so who are going to submit? The compliance officer of the company will submit the STR to the bank negara. Okay, now moving forward, record keeping. So this is more for agents and also the company as well. Of course, we can store all this recording through our system. Okay, and what is required is that we need to keep all the relevant records and also informations, including the CDD forms and all. EDD form is required to keep it for at least 6 years. All right. So this is on the record keeping part. So this is the whole process. Then next will be repeat the same process for the next client. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Following. Okay. Keep, retain, centralized of record. So what we will keep is the CDD information, copy of IC, and transaction details, basically like the OTP, authorization letter, and all the banking slip, stamp SPA and all. We have to store it Okay. Through systems, okay, can be manually as well, no issue, and have to keep it for 6 years. Right. So what is REN responsibility? Our responsibility is to KYC our client, know our client through getting all this information, like I mentioned, get necessary documents from our client, like the IC, copy of IC, passport, visa, or for company, other sets of company documents, right? So what is your responsibility? First, screening, check through the MOHA and UNSCR consolidated list. So make sure there's no name match before we proceed with the transaction. Okay. Following, let clients fill the CDD form, pass the CDD form and necessary documents to the admin for second screening. All right. If no name match or low risk, deposit can be collected. If high risk after CDD, let clients fill in the EDD. If positive name match, high risk after EDD, company submit the STR form for the bank negara. If deposit is collected, okay, fund will be freeze and will block the transaction. Okay, referring back to the act, if deposit is collected, the fund will be freeze and they can't, as a company or as a client, they can't withdraw the money already. Okay, we will block the transaction. So for the EDD result, normal risk deposit can be collected. High risk need to wait for bank negara reply. Okay, submit STR form to BNM. So if high risk and collected, we submit STR. If there's a green light from the bank negara, then the proceed will be can jalan lah. But otherwise, the deposit collected will be freeze until authorization from the bank negara. Okay, number 6, upload AMLA CDD form with admin signature and necessary documents in prop sage commission claim. Incomplete documents required, commission claim will be rejected, right? This is the enforcement we want to push out by 1st of January. Okay, but for now, you guys can start practicing already. Okay, now self-declaration form. Okay, this is a form to declare enforcement actions can be taken against reporting institution, including their directors, officers, employee for non-compliance with the provision marks, as the employee must be aware that they are made personally liable for any failures to observe the AMLA requirement. Okay, all right. I think CBD has been practicing this, and we will also apply the enforcement in 1st of January across ESP. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, like again, I said, if you have any questions, put it in the chat box. Okay, I move on next. Talk about AMLA checking. Okay, we can do it manually. Okay, through screening through MOHA list and also UN SCR list. However, in the market, there's this called Halo Check. Okay, Halo Check is checking company, a tech company basically. Okay, it's a tech company that help real estate agents or individuals to do a check on AMLA requirement. Okay, help reporting institution comply with AMLA, Bank Negara AMLA requirement, which is also the real estate agent So this website, you can go to halocheck.xyz. Okay, this is the website. So first of all, you need to register an account, right? You need to register an account, and you can go through the processes of checking. Okay, we can check our clients through remotely, okay, through sending SMS and email from the system, or face-to-face, conduct a face-to-face eKYC. When you meet the clients face-to-face, this is another options to check on their AMLA status. Okay, so there's a few things to do. Facial matching, which is we need to upload our client's My Card, which is the IC. At the same time, they have to take a selfie of their face also. So from here, the system will check through their information, whether they are having a name in the list or not. Okay, right? And of course, we can download client's eKYC report as well. We can download the PDF report over here. Okay. Now, enter client's full name and click a search. Okay, click a search. So this will show whether is there a matching or not. Okay, is there a matching or not? If no match now, then we can proceed. Okay, if there's no match, then we can proceed. If there's matching, then we will have to reject the client lah. Okay, no match problem. Then we can download the report. Okay, next question. Right, your next question will be, when I do a Halo check, I download my client report already, do we still have to do CDD form? Okay, the answer is yes, we still have to fill up the CDD form, because there are certain declarations they have to sign off by the client. But however, this Halo check, how I look at it is that instead of us downloading the updated list of a MOHA list and also UN SCR list, this one is more easy, more straightforward, because it's an app based. Okay, you can check on it online straight away, rather than download the list and check through the PDF, search by name. Okay, this is more easier. However, CDD form is still required. Okay, now For Hello Check, okay, unfortunately, previously there is what you call promotion, where they give free credits, but after the promotion date, now we have to pay for it lah, huh? So each of the checking, they require a payment whereby by credits lah. So for 2 credits per check for eKYC, and for risk check is 1 credit per check. Okay. So once you have signed up today, you will get 3 free risk check lah. Okay, monthly. So this is what you are getting. 10 ringgit, you will get 4 credits. So basically, you can conduct 2 KYC, eKYC. All right. You can conduct 2 eKYC. Or if not, you can sign up a higher package lah, a better package, a higher package, more credits. Okay. Is Hello Check a mandatory? The answer is no. Okay. If you think it's manageable, you can check your clients by screening through Hello Check. By screening through the MOHA list and UNSCR list. This is option number 1, which is free. Okay, you don't have to pay. So this is option number 1. Option number 2 is through Hello Check. This is you don't have to go through the MOHA list, because this is what they are supposed to do lah. Okay, keying in our client's name to get the checking across. Okay, so the informations and the YouTube website, all links is over here. You can check them out as well. If you can go to Google or go to Facebook, Instagram, can check that out on Hello Check. Okay, so I think we are coming close to the end. Any questions so far? Any question before I end the session? Okay, this is a common question that's being asked lah. Is there any possibility that client can escape to be screened when purchase or renting a property? So the answer is no. So it's a compulsory, because it's a bank negara rule. Okay, so it's a no. So when buyer purchase property through real estate agency will do the screening. Means the agents will do first screening, the agency will do the second screening. Right. So number 2, if purchaser purchase the property directly from the seller, so lawyer has the obligations to do this AMLA screening. Okay, the duty is on the lawyer. Number 3, when the purchaser purchase the property from the developer, then is the developer duty to conduct the screening. So back again, who are the first contact point for the purchaser or your owner, your clients basically? Who is the first contact point for the clients? Then that person will have to go through the AMLA screening. Okay. So of course, many of you may have other questions. Okay, so feel free to put it in the chat box. Any questions so far for me? Right, let me see if there's any question. Okay. Okay, Michelle. Right, Michelle, let me see. Michelle asking, is CDD form can be generated from PropSage? Yes, the answer is yes. Just now I mentioned to you, where you can download the form is under PropSage under document. We will upload the EDD form and also CDD form in PropSage documents tab. Okay. I came across Hello Check app from MIEA Talk. Can these apps help simplify the process for us? The answer is yes. So you don't have to check through. You don't have to cross check through what do you call that? The MOHA list and also UNSCR list. Okay, so it simplified that process. You need to download the report for sure as an attachment. However, you will still need to fill in the CDD form. Okay, because we need the clients to initial on each pages and to declare. All right. Okay, is there any plan for ESP to enhance platform to ease the screening of clients? Michelle, thanks for bringing this up. This is something that we will look into as well. Yeah. I think easing of the processes is how we cross-check the MOHA list and UN SCR list. I think for now, how I look at it, that process is a bit tedious, and we will look into way how we can help agents to smoothen the process. Yeah, thanks for bringing this up. Yep. Okay. Yes. Can this video upload this video? Of course. Okay. All our training. Okay. All our weekly training is uploaded into our ESPU. So stay tuned. ESPU. We will upload this video recording as well as the handbook and the slides. Okay. So you have more materials to study. All right. Especially for business owner, agency owner, and also team leader. You need to be aware of this because later on, negotiator will ask as well, right? So this will be uploaded together with the slides in our ESPU. So once the video is uploaded to ESPU, all of you, all right, every one of you will receive a email notification telling you that this video is uploaded to ESPU. Okay, right? Any other question for me? Anything they are unclear? All right. All record keeping is kept by agencies or REN. Okay, of course, agency will have a record keeping, all right, in PropSage because all your documents is uploaded in PropSage, right? So the agency will have a record, but we will still encourage agents to have a recording as well, all right, as a backup, put it this way. Okay. Okay, Azman is asking, what is the impact of these new rules comparing to unregistered brokers? Well, of course, unregistered broker, regardless whether is it AMLA Act or not, they are not legal. So even don't talk about AMLA, they can't practice as well. Legally, they cannot practice real estate industry. They can't practice. So they have to be registered. Unlicensed broker, we can do a report for what do you call that, for the board to penalize them. Okay, but for AMLA specifically, if they don't comply, then consider as a wrongdoing but how severe is the implication? This one I'm not too sure. Yeah. All right, is there a penalty of non-compliance? It's still 10 years of jail or 10 million. This one I'm not too sure. Maybe perhaps I will add this in when I upload the slides into our ESPU. I will add the non-compliance penalty. All right. Okay. Any other questions on this? No? If there's no other questions, this is my sharing today on introductions and applications of AMLA Act and also how we apply on it. So thank you so much, everyone. Okay, and stay tuned. Next week, next Monday, we will have our, as usual, Monday training. And I look forward to see everyone again. All right. Thank you so much.